Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today we've got our first sort of real video about the Mercedes-AMG GTR. I say the first video since my announcement, of course, that I've ordered one to come next year, because today Mercedes have released the product brochure, which means the price list and details of the optional spec. So what I want to do today is run through this with you guys and get some input and thoughts from you about how I should spec my car. So let me know as we go through in the comments what you're thinking about how I should spec mine. We're going to go through this and talk a lot more about it. So we already knew that the cars are going to be delivered in March, April 2017. That's when global deliveries are going to start. Right-hand drive UK cars tend to be slightly behind, but I'm hoping to have it pretty quickly because I ordered mine before it was revealed at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, so I should be quite near the top of the list somewhere. We'll find out about that in the very near future, but that does mean it won't be long until I have to submit my spec and lock it in as to how I want to put together my package for the AMG GTR. So let's get started taking a look at the brochure, and I'm going to try and overlay what I'm looking at so that you guys can see it in a little bit more detail. This is of course the UK brochure, so pricing will be different in different countries, but it starts with the Green Hell Magno Beast itself. So this car was pretty heavily developed at the Nürburgring. You might already know that. It's basically a track-focused version of the AMG GT and GTS. Bit more power, 585 horsepower, 0 to 62, 3.6 seconds, and a savage exhaust system, as we heard at Goodwood. Not bad, hey? And that was completely stock. The stock titanium exhaust system, which is just a little bit crazy. Anyway, let's get going through this. And obviously it starts off, well, with the contents page first, but very quickly we're into some beauty shots of the GTR lurking in the grass. Hear the roar, as we just heard, followed by meet the beast as we see a little bit more of it, and then discover the power. We can see the full car here. 585 horsepower. We've got the carbon fibre roof, you can see there, along with the static black spoiler on the rear. Both nice upgrades over the GTS. 3.6 seconds figure I told you about. You can see the Pan America grille at the front. I just think that is so cool, borrowed off the GT3 car, the AMG GT3. In fact, the whole styling has just been refined and made to look awesome. This is basically what I hoped this car was going to look like when I placed my deposit before we had ever seen it. Where do we get to? Beast of the Green Hell. Yeah, as I said, the whole car developed with the purpose of dominating the Nürburgring. We don't have a time yet, but 7:15 maybe, 7:20 probably. It's up there with the 911 Turbo S, the Audi R8 Plus, these kind of focused driver cars. So, let's get on to the price. So here you can see the standard RRP 140.5, but on the road, with road tax in the UK, £143,000, £245. In Europe, it's about €165,000. So in the UK, that actually represents more than a £30,000 premium over the GTS, where in Europe, it's a €30,000 premium. So if you know much about the currencies right now, Brexit triggered massive craziness, the pound has dropped a lot. So in the UK, this is substantially more than the S than it is in Europe. However, the price is much lower than I think I expected. I thought it was going to start at probably £25,000 more than that, so I'm not complaining one bit. It's £143,245 as a start price for the AMG GTR, which would get you, I guess, what we're looking at there. That's a fairly standard specification grey car. So, I'm going to spin the screen around to take a proper look. I'll put this up so you can see it in more detail. What do you get for standard on the GTR? Well, as you can see, you've got 19-inch front, 20-inch rear wheels, active aero, active air control, the AMG GTR body styling, the Pan America grille, the performance exhaust system we heard, switchable, valve controlled. You get yellow brake calipers, the carbon fibre roof, GTR lettering on the boot lid, Parktronic parking sensors, the static rear wing, and sports tyres. I think it comes on Michelin Sport Cup 2s. Then on the interior, you've got the night package, the AMG drive units, which is all the sort of driving modes, AMG floor mats, the Dynamica microfiber steering wheel, and then the sports bucket seats. And I'm going to come back to that as well. And you can see that for the trim, it comes with Dynamica microfiber mixed with leather, like half and half, and the high gloss black finish. But let's just whiz on through, because you've got the premium equipment line. Now, Spec is different in every country. Like this premium equipment line that we have available in the UK, I noticed the German AMG GTR configurator does not offer, but this basically includes AMG illuminated door sills, Burmester sound system, 10 speaker system, the reversing camera, and a few other things, keyless go, memory seats, and auto folding and dipping mirrors. And that adds a couple of thousand, so that's 147,440. So that's where I'm going to start, because you'd be a nutcase not to have the premium package. It gives you discounts on your other options, and that's a really good bundle. And if you opt for not sports seats, performance seats, you get the seat heating too, but we'll come back to that. Really good bundle, good place to start for £4,200 really. You get invited to Mercedes-Benz World Brooklands to get shown how to drive your car properly as part of purchasing a new AMG, which is cool. So you can see a little more of that. So standard equipment, there is obviously a lot of it. Time for me to take a close look in person. So command, media interface, the drive unit, the LED headlamps, which are obviously very good, V8 bi-turbo lettering on the side, the rear wing, and that wheel design. Now, we'll get to wheel designs properly in a moment. For the next page, you can have a quick full read through this if you want to pause it. I'm just going to highlight some things. AMG ride control, rear wheel steering, that's also cool, DCT, standard cruise control, stop start, the performance exhaust system, active aero. What else can we point out? Heated rear window. I don't know why that jumped to my attention. Yes, big list there of standard equipment. Then on the interior, lots of AMG style upgrades over the top of the AMG GT and the AMG GTS. The sort of slightly new look instrument cluster, the sports buckets, and actually down, if you could see it in the bottom right corner, you can see the sports seats. Those are the sort of, I guess, one piece. You can't independently fold the backrest. Sports seats in the GTR. And then a couple more things. What else do we have? It's basically got lots and lots of standard stuff, as you can see. Thermotronic automatic climate control. How nice. Standard paint, standard black fabric, roof lining and upholstery stuff, and then all the safety things you would hope to have. Adaptive brake assist with hold function and hill start assist. Okay, that's like a hill hold. Adaptive brake lights. There's a lot to read here, an awful lot. And then even more security and safety on the next page. Black seatbelt standard, we'll come to that. And then communication, so command is included with an 8.4-inch screen, DAB digital radio, and then Mercedes Me Connect that I don't know too much about, but maybe you guys do if you've done this before. Then, wheel designs. So, by default, it comes with this design called the RXA. For £510, you can have this one, the RXB, or for £1,530, you can have the RXC. Now, A and B are basically the same, just with B being dual-coloured. C has a slightly different design to it. The problem I have is I really don't like that silver trim around the wheels. I really dislike it. I've never been a fan, so whatever wheels I get, I have to repaint them, which is fine. I'll pop down to Posh Wash and make them all black, and I'll be very happy. The problem I've got is, I've struggled to justify the price difference between RXA and RXC of £1,500 if in either case I'm going to paint it. So I mean, I don't know what you think looking at those different designs, whether you think I should have A, B or C. I'm leaning towards A because what's the point in spending money? And then probably, because I want to modify and play around with this car, these are going to end up being my winter wheels anyway, with some much more badass summer wheels. So watch this space, but what should I get? Then, the next page, we've got the lane tracking package and driver assistance package. This again feels like a bit of a no-brainer to get the driver assistance package for £1,695 because you get the blind spot assist, lane keeping assist. You also get the Distronic Plus, which is sort of adaptive cruise control rather than the standard cruise control, which I should probably pay reference to my own little front end bump right now. That would have had me come to a stop. Anyway, and the pre-save system that holds your seatbelt in advance of you having an incident, which is quite trick as well. Now, this is where we need to start talking. The AMG track package. So there are two parts to this. Well, there's the track package, which is £1,700, which includes a 4-point harness, a fire extinguisher, and a roll cage. Now, if you were going to drive your car on track a lot, that's a no-brainer. In fact, for making the AMG GTR really cool, I think that's quite a no-brainer. The problem I have is if I'm track positioning this car, I'll also want the ceramic brakes, which are £6,000. But having the extinguisher and the roll cage takes away my luggage capacity, which makes my GT touring in the car that I want to do harder. So I'm seriously tied whether I want the track side of this, or because of the other cars in my garage this year, the Ford GT, the Aston GT8, the McLaren LT Spider, I have enough proper track cars so that this is my road car, and therefore I should skip straight over this. Now, this is also a bit of a UK versus elsewhere thing, because in the UK we quite like our comfort specs because our roads are rubbish. I know in Germany there'll be, let's say, a much higher percentage of people ordering the track package. So that's a little challenge for me. I don't know whether I want to make it the track car, or what's the point in spending, nearly £8,000 if I might only ever do one track day in it. And ceramic brakes have a tendency to squeal a bit at slow speeds as well, and they're quite grabby for a GT car. So there are some disadvantages, but we get on to more optional equipment. Here you can see the yellow seatbelts, definitely. The carbon fibre door sills, definitely. The Burmester high-end system, we'll come back to that in a moment. The performance seat, that's if you want to downgrade, I suppose, to comfort seats rather than buckets. Then the wheels, and then the inlays for the central trim. I'm going to spin back around to take a proper look at this slide here, because this is where we start talking prices. You can see at the top £6,000 for the carbon ceramics. Then you've got the carbon fibre door sills, so if you selected the premium line, you get those for £100, which I'm going to have because I quite like that for £100. Carbon fibre engine cover would be lovely, £1,300 though, not really worth it. Performance seat, no thank you, I want the buckets anyway, just because buckets are cool. So the Burmester high-end sound system, £2,800 to upgrade from the 10-speaker system to the 11-speaker system. Now, I imagine this is really good. 11 speakers, 1,000 watts, it's going to sound insane, but it's £2,800, and I can't imagine the 10-speaker system's bad. Do you think it's worth stretching for a bit more music? I spend a lot of time in the car, a lot of time on motorways where the exhaust is not in loud mode. If you're driving on a nice windy road, obviously the radio is off. It's the best music you can listen to while you're driving is the exhaust. So that, I'm not sure about that. Then the load compartment cover, obviously for £60, just to hide what's in your boot. Brake calipers. By default, they're yellow, or you can opt to have them red. Now, this will obviously depend a bit about colours, which we haven't got to yet, but yellow or red calipers, undecided. Then seat belts as well. Now, I'm going to go, well, again, depends on colours, but most likely with whatever matches. If we've got red bits on the outside, red on the interior, and yellow likewise. And then we come through to packages. So this is a tricky one because these packages are quite expensive. The exterior is just shy of £4,000, the interior is just shy of £3,000. On the outside, you get some bits in high gloss black around the front instead of the sort of satin plastic black. Satin black plastic, I should say. But you get some carbon bits as well. You get the diffuser, the mirror housing, the lower front splitter, the wing, the fins on the wings, and then some tinted glass as well. So on the exterior, you get some nice bits, but it's not huge, and I'm not sure it makes that much difference because even if you have all of those parts in carbon, you still have a gloss black wing, you still have gloss black bits around the car. So again, I can't quite justify at the moment. I do love carbon fibre, but I'm perhaps more interested in taking my car to Brabus or Rentec and doing something else with it, in which case that would be wasted money. Interior though, matte black interior trim up the centre console and the air vents. Well, you're sat in there all the time and you're looking at it all the time, so I'm much more tempted by that. And the cross member that goes behind your head between the seats, that and carbon fibre, spot on. I'm very tempted to have that. So colours, paints, standard paints, you have some lower prices. Then you get to Green Hell Magno for £7,500. And then you get to Solar Beam Yellow for £10,700. Now, if you ask me my first choice colour for this car, it's Solar Beam Yellow. Except it's £10,700. I also noted on the German configurator, it's €8,700, which is about £8,000. So we pay nearly £3,000 more in Britain to have a yellow painted car than the Germans do. I don't get it. Maybe it just gets damaged in shipping or something, so there's more money having to cover that kind of stuff. And the exterior ties onto the interior because you have different kind of finishes. You can have basically the black Dynamica leather, so like full nicer finish with grey stitch, or you can have it with yellow stitch. So picture this, yellow car, full black wheels, yellow stitching, yellow piping, yellow seat belts, yellow calipers. Very yellow and black because you've got the black roof, the black spoiler, the black bits around the front. I wonder if you can black out the grille. I wonder if you'd want to. I don't know. To be decided. To be decided. So those are options. And then some servicing stuff. So let's just skip straight to colours here. Nice big colour chart. That doesn't mean much unless you're actually looking at them in person. Except Solar Beam is a really lovely colour. I'm not interested in a silver or grey or any form of that car. Reds possibly. Just doesn't feel like this should be a red car to me at this stage. I don't know why. So it's really, I think for me, between Green Hell Magno or Solar Beam Yellow. It's Green Hell because that colour is deviated from the Nürburgring, or it's bright yellow. Let's have a vote, or let me know if you think it would be better in Hyacinth Red, because I guess that would be the choice. Brilliant Blue. I've got enough blue cars right now. Well, the GT8, of course, incoming in blue, but next year's cars, I don't want to go with another blue car really right now. And then trim, you can see the two interiors there, both shown with the satin carbon inside, but with the grey stitch or the yellow stitch. And you've got that yellow dial in the middle, which is the traction control settings, which is really cool. There you've got the different seats. You can see the sport seats at the top and the performance comfort seats at the bottom. Again, with the normal at the left, the grey stitch in the middle, and the yellow stitch at the right. And then they just give us a couple of slides with colour combination suggestions. So if you have a red car, they suggest that you should not have yellow stitching. Probably makes sense. Then we've got some technical info here. One thing I'm going to point out, the fuel capacity, 75 litres. In Europe it's an option to upgrade to a 75 litre tank, so I assume that must be to do with the homologation of a right-hand drive car. You can see, well, all the bits of info you could possibly want to know here about the car and the tyres. 325 section rear tyres, that's very wide. 198 mile top speed, mile an hour top speed, obviously is slightly limited by the drag from the aerodynamics, which make it faster on track. Always an interesting comparison. We've got some dimensions, we've got information about tax, about £2,000 for the first year road tax in the United Kingdom. That goes up substantially, I think it's on the 1st of January, it all changes. Then we've got servicing info and financing info. I won't bore you with all of that. So there we go, there are my options. And this is where I've got a little bit of a struggle, because colours, if let's say I go Solar Beam Yellow, which is a lovely colour, and I take the normal wheels and make them black after the car arrives, then it will look awesome. There's no question about that, but I'll have spent a lot of money to get that yellow triple layer paint job. If you've ever seen Solar Beam Yellow on a Mercedes, it is a spectacular colour. It looks extraordinarily good, but does it justify that cost? It would be cool to have a yellow car, it'd be my only yellow car, but definitely have to get it PPF'd, because if I've spent that much money on the paint, it has to go to Topaz and have the proper treatment, which is another cost as well on top, whereas with a less expensive colour option, maybe you don't. Obviously, I've got to think about the carbon exterior stuff, the wheel choices, and basically if I've missed any tech things. And the Burmester Hi-Fi, do I buy the really good one? Questions, and I've got to get my specs submitted quickly, because this needs to go off and get the order process on the roll before hopefully in the future I'll be able to share some more videos with you, including, hopefully at some point, a first drive in a Mercedes-AMG GTR, and that I am looking forward to sharing with you. So I don't know if we'll have a full road to GTR video like I've done with some of my other cars, but we're making a good start. We've got the options list, we've got some sort of foundations, I suppose. I'm really interested though to hear what you think, and how you guys think I should spec my car, given that you're going to see quite a lot of it when the GTR arrives in 2017. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you'll join me on this adventure, but that is it for now. I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers!